Once upon a time, there was a little Yorkie named Roxy who had a special gift. She was the world's best snuggler. While most dogs were busy chasing squirrels or barking at delivery trucks, Roxy preferred a different approach to life. Why run around when you could curl up on a cozy spot and snuggle the day away? Roxy's snuggling talents were so remarkable that her owner, Christine, often joked that she could turn it into a career. One chilling evening, after Roxy had nestled into Christine's lap, a light bulb went off in her furry little head. What if she actually could make a living from her snuggling superpowers? With her tail wagging, Roxy snuggled her way into action and launched her own business, Roxy's Cozy Cuddles, Inc. Her motto? Why chase your tail when you can snuggle your way to success? Soon, Roxy was offering professional snuggle sessions to people who needed warmth and comfort. Word spread fast. Everybody in town has heard of Roxy, the Yorkie with snuggles so powerful that they could melt away stress of the day. But Roxy wasn't alone in her adventure. She had two doggy friends, Jimmy, a lively pup who was always bursting with energy, and Doug, a laid-back dog who loved his life at his own relaxed pace. Jimmy, never one to sit still, didn't quite understand why Roxy wouldn't spend her time cuddling instead of racing around the yard. Roxy, come on, let's play, he'd bark, zipping in circles around her, but Roxy would just give him a calm look and say, snuggling's where it's at, Jimmy. You should try it sometime. Doug, on the other hand, completely got it. You're on to something, Roxy, Doug would say, lazily from his spot in the sun. I've often said life's better when you take it slow. Doug had a talent for chilling, and when he wasn't quite the professional snuggler Roxy was, he appreciated her skills. Sometimes he'd lie nearby, baking in the cozy vibe she created. Despite their differences, the three dogs became quite the team. Jimmy's energy kept things lively. Doug's calm demeanor brought their balance, and Roxy, well, Roxy worked her magic by snuggling her way into people's hearts. Together they made quite the trio. One day, the trio decided to take a trip to Tijuana. What was meant to be a fun little adventure turned into a day they'd never forget. And not for the reasons they planned. While Roxy and Doug were content to explore the local sights and enjoy the food, Jimmy had other ideas. His hyper little pup got a mischievous twinkle in his eye, and soon they crossed the border. Hey guys, Jimmy barked. I heard there's a lot of fun we can get into around here. Let's go get some action. Yeah. Well, Roxy and Doug exchanged skeptical looks. You go on, Doug yawned. Roxy and I are just here for a relaxing time. But Jimmy, ever the troublemaker, was already racing off down the street looking for excitement. Before long, Jimmy found himself chatting up a suspicious-looking dog near a shady alley. Roxy, always the sensible one, could tell it was bad news. Jimmy, stop it. We don't want any part of that, she warned. But Jimmy wasn't listening. Within minutes, a group of stern-looking officers approached, and before the dogs knew it, they were all rounded up and hauled off into a Tijuana jail. Roxy and Doug were beside themselves. I can't believe we're in here because of Jimmy, Roxy sighed as they sat in a dimly lit cell. Doug, always calm under pressure, just shook his head. Nah, it's Jimmy. What do you expect? You know how he is. Jimmy, of course, tried to stay calm, charm his way out of the situation. But there was no sweet talking their way out of this one. They spent the entire night in the Tijuana jail, surrounded by shady characters, with Roxy doing her best to avoid the chaos by curling up into a ball and snuggling Doug for comfort. The next morning, after Christine came to bail them out, Roxy gave Jimmy a stern look. No more wild adventures, Jimmy. From now on, you're sticking to walks and dog parks. Jimmy grinned sheepishly. Okay, I get it. No more trouble. But hey, at least it was memorable, right? After their escapade, the trio decided to keep things a little more low-key. That weekend, they were invited to their friend Amanda's house to watch reruns of I Love Lucy. They all settled in, ready to relax and have a few laughs. However, there was one little problem. Jimmy had eaten way too many beans during their trip to Tijuana. Every time Lucy got into one of her hilarious schemes and Jimmy started laughing, he couldn't help but let out a loud fart. At first, Amanda thought it was just one-off. "Jimmy, did you just..." she asked, laughing herself. But after the third or fourth time, it wasn't laughing as much. "Jimmy, seriously, this is getting ridiculous." Just as the group was settling in for the next episode, Amanda's daughter came home. She had just returned from her track meet, where she proudly announced that she'd run a 1-minute mile. Wow, mile in a minute. Pretty good. Coming in second place. "That's amazing," Roxy barked, impressed. But Amanda's daughter didn't seem too happy. "I should have won," she grumbled, "but I lost to a trans athlete." Amanda tried to calm her up, but just as she did, Jimmy, mid-laugh at Lucy's latest antics, let out another loud fart. This time, even Amanda's daughter couldn't help but laugh. "Okay, Jimmy, I think you're the one who's lost this race," she giggled. "Jimmy, you need to lay off the beans next time you're in Tijuana," Doug muttered with a sigh as he stretched out lazily on the couch. Meanwhile, Roxy was curled up in her small, usual ball, trying to focus on the I Love Lucy reruns and not on the cloud of bean-induced gas that had seemed to hover over Jimmy. By the end of the night, Amanda was laughing, but also fanning the air. "Next time, Jimmy, you're going to keep it to light snacks only." And so, after their wild trip to Tijuana, Amanda's daughter's track meet, and a somewhat gassy movie night, the trio learned that life's adventures, whether cozy or crazy, are always better with a little humor and a lot of snuggles. Just maybe with fewer beans next time.